have worked a minimum wage job or you know someone who has, I think we can all agree that it is nearly impossible to make ends meet living on $7.25 an hour. But what if this minimum wage was actually not the minimum? See, many people with intellectual and developmental disabilities are being paid sub-minimum wages. My friend Jessica happens to have Down syndrome. She showed me her paycheck, and it was $3 compensating 70 hours of work. This equates to roughly 4 cents an hour. It is frustrating to see people like Jessica, capable, talented, and hardworking, not receiving the same pay or recognition as others. My name is Sierra Wood, and I am the founder of Meraki Mocha, a farm-to-table cafe focused on empowering people with intellectual and developmental disabilities by offering meaningful employment. There are 3 problems that we want to address. The first being that 82% of people with developmental disabilities are unemployed, and yet 74% of them want to be working. Those who are employed are often receiving sub-minimum wages. Also, Lancaster County is ranked #1 in the United States for preserved farmland, and yet most local food establishments are outsourcing for produce. We plan on addressing these problems in 3 ways. First, we will be offering jobs to those who typically face barriers to employment and will be paying them a thriving wage. Next, we will be supporting local farmers in order to keep our money within the community. Next, we plan on attempting to help eliminate negative stigma regarding people with disabilities. This graph shows where we have been as a society and where we hope to be. We are moving away from exclusion, segregation, and integration with an ultimate goal of inclusion. We want to have a big impact, but we recognize that as a cafe, we can only hire so many people, which is why, in addition to employment, we will also be offering paid apprenticeships, where we bring people to work in the cafe for 1 year, train them, and then help them apply and find jobs elsewhere in the community. We will be hiring people, our employees, alongside typical people doing typical work in a typical work environment. And our mission is to be a catalyst to inspire other businesses to hire more people with disabilities. We will be having 3 main streams of revenue. First, focusing on wholesale coffee, and second, catering services. Third, we will be focused on opening a physical location for the cafe. 5 years ago, I began working with people with disabilities, and I felt good about myself, which is incredibly humbling to admit, as now 5 years later, I recognize that I viewed myself as different from them. Now, many of these people are my friends, not people I need to be helping, but rather people I should be working alongside. Our cafe will be located in the south side of the city, away from the current saturation of other coffee shops. Our market research shows that 90% of people coming to cafes in the city are driving from outside of the city. As a result, there is a large demand for coffee shops with parking. The second largest request is that there are more cafes with outdoor seating. With the locations we are looking at and being on the edges of the city, we will be able to provide both of these things for our customers. We already have the funds needed to begin selling our coffee as well as begin catering services, but we need $94,000 in order to open the doors for our cafe. This will cover everything from equipment to preliminary expenses as well as working capital. Thanks to your support, we have raised over $20,000 towards this amount. In order to keep the doors open and cover all of our monthly expenses, we need $20,000 in sales monthly. What that looks like for us is we will need to serve daily 80 customers between catering services as well as people walking in the door through our cafe. We plan on being able to break even by month 1, and we will be open 7 days a week and plan to serve 150 customers daily between catering and people walking in through our door. By the end of the year, we will already have begun selling our signature blend of coffee as well as catering services. We already have over 40 people committed to utilizing our catering services, many of which will be repeating customers. We project to have $15,000 in sales by the end of the year. In 2018, we will focus on opening the doors for our cafe, and we have projected $300,000 in sales. In 2019, we will shift our focus towards regional expansion, and we project $500,000 in sales at this time. In 2020, we expect to have positively impacted through employment and our apprenticeships over 45 people with disabilities. Meraki is a Greek word which means to do something with soul, creativity, or love, to put something of yourself into your work. Many of the people that we will be hiring have never had this experience. Thanks to our business model, as well as your community support, we will be able to make this a reality for many people. Thank you.